Alexis has a promised ring.
Well, I don't know. Is there a difference between promise and promised?
Promised. Never promise ring. It says #promise.
Maybe promise to be together, promise it's forever, promise he's not going anywhere, promise, I don't really know.
It could also mean promised in the eyes of the Lord.
Is she really religious?
It's totally, I don't know.
John didn't know what Van Cleef and Arpels was until he met me. So good for you, Alexis, that you got that ring. John and Alexis's relationship is moving at the same speed that my relationship moved with John. And, you know, it's not, I'm not saying this out of jealousy, but literally 2 weeks into the relationship, he said, "You're my person, you're my future." And my answer was, I know, because I felt very comfortable with him. And I guess in 2 weeks, I think he said the same thing to her.
Despite what people may think, I know it was fast and I know it was intense, but Alexis loves that man.
You think you're gonna marry him? Oh, you go together. After 2 months?
He's got a program, it looks like. Looks like John Janssen has a love bombing program. Is Alexis trying to live the life that I had? She's with my ex-boyfriend. She's getting love bombed like I did. They're going to the same restaurants. They're riding on the boat. They go to the same gym. John and I worked out at the same gym, so I thought it was odd that after visiting the gym twice, Alexis coined it her gym. I found out that Alexis went up to Gina and said, "So you were working out at my gym with my trainer?" It's her gym and her trainer after going there twice.
All I know is we've been training with this guy for 3 or 4 months, and then all of a sudden she showed up.
I have no control over what gym you go to. Do I go there now? No.
I would say Alexis and John just go to a new gym. There's a lot of gyms. Just find a new gym.
I have zero intention of spending any time with her. I will have to see her across the couch at the reunion, but she won't be there long because she's a friend.
I had to move kind of quickly from a house, and I reached out to Gina saying, "Hey, do you know of anything in the Ladera where the kids and I lived?" She said, "You know what? I have something, like, and it's going to be amazing for you and the kids." And like, we just like foot on the gas. Gina got me in the house. My ex-husband was traveling at the time because we nest, and so Gina was just vouching. She pulled all the tricks out of her sleeve that she needed to do.
Yeah, I was representing her as a realtor. I brokered the deal. I dropped everything to get her in that home.
And it was perfect. Come in 4 months and I'm living there. It's a great home for the kids and I, but my ex is going through something. We have made very little progress in my divorce. Unfortunately, it's taking Will a long time to turn in financials. He was responsible for the lion's share of the rent, and I was responsible for a small portion, but then I started seeing a group text with Will and I and the owner of the home saying, "I received partial payment of the rent. Are you gonna pay the rest of the rent?" I didn't know at first. I thought everything was as it had been for the first 3 years of my ex and I's divorce, and that was, he paid the rent, he paid the bills. When he was with the kids, he was in the house. When I was with the kids, I was in the house. And Gina says she felt like when rent was not being paid, she feels like I was ruining her career.
I had a very good relationship with this agent. This woman won't even return my calls.
I'm not saying I was looking for sympathy. I just thought she would have understood it more.
I'm sympathetic to it. I understand there's a problem there with your ex or whatever, but you signed a contract and you have bills to pay.
I'm not a woman that would take out another woman's career, and so that was surprising.
You did not pay your rent. This is my brand new career, Jen.
Where do you stand with her today?
Gina and I are great today, and I love Gina, and I have to say I do respect Gina. That was a hard time for me with her because, gosh, I was just in survival mode. People just don't understand my life at that time, and I don't know that I need people to understand it. It was just a divorce that has taken 4 years. At that time, I had 1 debit card.
What age did you have a credit card in your name?
I've never had a credit card in my name. And I never knew what fear was, stress was. This is a new spot for me.
I can't imagine you're on a TV show and your ex-husband who's been paying your rent all of a sudden stops doing that and you're getting evicted and now it's caught on camera. That's hard.
If something were to happen with Ryan, I literally am homeless and I do not have a car.
Right, but let's fix that now.
When I needed gas, I would text my ex and he'd move money. If I needed groceries, I would text and he would move money. So for people to say, "Why didn't you pay your damn rent?" I mean, my ex was going through something and I don't communicate with him. So I'm trying to understand, What's happening with him? Do I text him and say, move the money, move the money? So then I start reaching out to the owner of the home. She and I come up with a plan. I executed that in 4 days. The kids and I were out. I was not going to put anybody through any more unpaid rent. I hate this feeling of me being somebody who's just frivolous and like, I don't care or take responsibility. I actually very much do.
I'm learning, and I had no access to anything.
What am I, you know what I mean?
Emily is an attorney, so she has a certain way of almost putting people on the witness stand.
Why do you feel so judgy about it?
Because you could do things legally, you could go into court.
Not everyone's brain works the same way as Emily's. There's a lot of women that don't know everything going on with their finances, or make choices that might not be the smartest, you know, but Jen's learning. We've all been there, you know. I was married, I didn't pay attention to anything really, so I feel for her. It's hard, but she'll get on her own, she'll stand on her own 2 feet. We all do, we'll all get there.
I can't say anything other than this is my life and this is me to be on this platform and share it.
Okay, so Sophie just graduated from Baylor University, and we checked 8 suitcases on the way here to New York, and she's moving to New York City, and she got a job, and she starts Monday. So super proud of her. And her sister Adeline goes to Parsons here in New York City, so she'll be coming in August, and so Sophie will have a sister here, which is great. And Stella was in Paris last year for the USC Trojan transfer, and she loved it so much she's going to stay 1 more year. So I'm taking her to Paris soon. So yeah, that's my girls. They've all left the OC. So I'll be spending a lot of time here in New York City.
Do you ever see yourself getting a place here in New York?
I mean, I do see myself someday moving back east. It's one thing that I always wanted to do when I was younger, and I never did, but I probably never would have left. So I don't, you know, I love this city. Yeah, I love everything about back east. People think that I'm from the East Coast, but I'm not. Born and raised SoCal. So I downsized and moved out of the family neighborhood, and now I live by the beach, which I love. I'm about a 5-minute walk to the actual beach, and I'm close walking distance to little neighborhood restaurants. I'm just keeping my circle very small. I did right after the DUI, and it still is small, and I like it that way. So I love where I live. I have great neighbors, and there's just activity going on there. I'm not just sitting in a house by myself. And I have Archie. I'm living with the new man in my life, Archie. I'm living with the reliable guy in my life, Archie Bellino.